Hey guys, and welcome to 12 not blindingly obvious tips for BECASTLED. Okay, let's get going. And this first tip I think is a peach. I only found this out after reaching the conclusion that there must be a way to do this. Okay, so how do you place multiple buildings? Because the shift key, which is the key that like 90% of games use for placing multiple buildings, doesn't work. I'm holding the shift key, no, it didn't work. But I figured there's got to be a way to do it. There is. For some reason, they've used the control key. So now if I hold the control key down, I can place multiple buildings. But you do have to realign them each time. And I really wish it kept the same alignment. That would be great. But hey, it is what it is. And that brings me on to tip 2. When you build a building, the game allocates a builder either from the people gathered around the fireplace at your castle or from the nearest builders guild. So it's kind of sort of a tip to space your builders guilds around your castle so that you've always got somebody close to build buildings. But that's not really the tip. The tip is this. If you're building something that's quite a long way away from your castle, then you can manually allocate people to build it. So if I put in a house here, I can actually grab one of these guys and just click on that and tell him to go and build it. And he will instantly turn into a builder and build the building. Now, not only that, but when he's finished, we can reallocate him back to the job that he was doing. Here he goes. So now I can just click on here and he'll instantly go back to his original job. Now, while we're on the subject of allocating workers, I want to point out this button up here because this was not blindingly obvious to me. I know it will be to a lot of people, but I wish I'd known about this sooner. This button up here, if you click on it, shows you all of your buildings and allows you to assign your workers. Man, I wish I'd known that one sooner. Okay, this tip was left on one of my videos by Skye, and I think it's a good one for the early game. When you're gathering wood in the early game and you don't have many people, they can cut down the trees pretty quickly and pretty quickly clear an area, leaving them with a long way to walk to get more trees. But you can get around this problem by simply putting in another sawmill. And then when an area is cleared, and then switch them to the new sawmill so that they've got lots of wood very close by that they can get straight to work on. Trees regrow overnight. So the next day, in the morning, they can clear this area and then just switch them back over to this building, which will have all its trees again. Okay, now let's talk about mood. This is really important. It's really important to keep your mood high so that you're spawning new residents as quickly as possible. So mood is affected by 3 things: buildings, markets, and cell attractiveness. And when it's talking about buildings, it means taverns. So taverns, markets, and cell attractiveness. So this tip is about cell attractiveness. And what is the best way to improve the attractiveness of a cell? Okay, cells have 3 levels. Level 1, where you get no bonus to happiness. Level 2, where you get 1.5 bonus to happiness. And level 3, where you get 3 happiness bonus. Okay, fine. How can you improve this with the least resources for the maximum benefit? Well, let's look at decorations. The best is this tree. For 20 wood, you can get 25 attractiveness per tree. So let's let them build these. And these 4 trees should take us up to level 2. Here come our workers. Boom, 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 boom. And we're up to level 2. And if I was to throw in another 8 of these, we could get up to level 3. Okay, well, that's great. But what about the other ones then? The fountain and the statue are the worst because they use up stone. And certainly in the early to mid game, you're going to need every bit of stone that you've got for upgrading buildings and building walls. The rest of these only increase the attractiveness by 20 rather than 25, but they still cost 20 wood. So definitely trees are the way to go. But there is a little hidden gem, and it's the house, because this is not blindingly obvious. when you upgrade a house, it also improves the attractiveness. So currently we're at level 2. We're at 0 of 200 for the next level. Let's upgrade this house. Boom. And we're now at 25 because every house upgrade increases the attractiveness by 25. So make sure if you're trying to bump up your mood by increasing cell attractiveness, that you've upgraded your houses in that area. Okay, so that's cell attractiveness. But what is the best way to improve your mood? Well, markets are definitely the worst, because even when you've got a lot of markets and they're getting their full bonuses, they're only going to give you +2 to mood. If I can actually click on the building rather than the resident, here we go. +2, +2, +2. And these are set up with the maximum bonus. The bonus increases the more you place, up to a maximum bonus of 100. And at that point, you'll still only be getting 2 mood. Increasing the cell attractiveness is a really easy way to do it, and it doesn't use up any people. But the bonus isn't that high. The simple fact is, if you want to get a big boost to mood, taverns is the way to go. We're at 33 now. I'm going to allocate 3 workers to this tavern. And look at that, we're up to 48. You will get on average, it does alter like per tavern. It's usually 15 happiness or 15 mood per tavern, and that is a huge boost. But just make sure that you've got the people available, because it does take 3 workers each. So there you go. That is the best way to improve mood. And once you have got your mood nice and high, make sure you bump up those taxes to high in the treasury. You can still keep your mood high and still have tons of cash coming in. Okay, now some combat tips. This one's the Runaround. We've got some troops coming in. We've got archers up on a wall. I put a ramp in and then demolished the ramp afterwards. Now, enemy troops will follow your troops. So all you need to do is run them around in front of your archers and just let your archers slaughter them. Using this technique, a very small force can defeat a much, much larger one. Now, something that's definitely not blindingly obvious is that wolves can be a real defensive asset, and you definitely want to think twice before you take out one of these wolf dens, because they can really, really help out. Wolves, combined with the runaround technique, can absolutely decimate an enemy, especially in the very early game when there's only a few troops. Just run them in and out of the wolf area, and the wolves will just literally rip them apart. Another thing that's not blindingly obvious is how incredibly effective fences can be. Adding a ring of fences outside your main walls will slow the enemy down, giving your archers, trebuchets and ballistas plenty of time to do plenty of damage. I couldn't believe what a difference fences made when I started adding them. They're a serious game changer. Another great way to delay and distract enemy troops, and especially siege engines, is to place down some buildings outside your walls. Now, I'm using sawmills. Sawmills only cost 100 wood, which, especially in the late game, is pretty much nothing. And yet, they offer a nice target, because they've got 500 health, which will stand up to a fair few hits from the catapults, and even a hit or two from the battering rams. As you can see, the enemy troops are really distracted by the buildings, giving our archers opportunity to do immense damage. And that is worth its weight in gold. And of course, not blindingly obvious. Tip number 11 is about gates. And I did not realise this until after I'd actually finished my first playthrough. And several people left comments about this. It's something that I just didn't notice. And that is that gates are upgradable. Now, it says add 1 more workplace, but in actual fact, it does that. And this offers a great defense and also extended range for your archers. Okay, so we're almost done. The last tip, tip 12, and I thought for the end, I thought we could do with like a meal. Finish it off with some fine cheese. And this, this is some serious cheese. Okay, what you do, line your archers up along a section of wall. Leave one section of your outer fence empty. And then open a gate at the other end. So I'm going to open this gate. And what will happen, the rather stupid enemy will realize that there is a path right into the castle. So they're going to go for it. And they're going to walk all the way along here, getting shot at by the archers. And then they're going to go inside, and they're going to walk all the way along here, right in front of the archers. Now, obviously, this is a massive cheese, but my God, it's fun to watch. And that's where we'll leave it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the tips. If you've got any not blindingly obvious tips, then let me know. Leave me a comment, and I'll catch you for the next one. Peace out.